This is episode number 521 of the Health and Fitness Podcast by Inner Fight, brought to you in association with Smith Street Paleo. Hop over to smithstreetpaleo.com, get all of your paleo goodness delivered to your home or office. It couldn't be much easier than that. Welcome to episode 4 of the Getting Stronger series. This is our second series on the back of the massive success of the Rise of Ultra, the first series on these Sunday shows. Nice bite-sized shows, 15 minutes, and we're on number 4. If you haven't checked them out, please go and check out number 1, 515, which was defining strength. We then went into strength protocols in 517. We did last week strength here in a fight in 519, and in today's show, we're talking all about eating for strength. For some of you, this might actually be the favorite show that you have. And I was actually listening. Andre's with me. Andre, how's it going?
Good.
It's going good. Mate, you crushed it last week. You told us all about, you gave like the sermon on inner fight strength and how we put it all together. I've had some interesting feedback on that, mate. But, mate, I remember I was listening to the radio recently, and now I don't normally listen to the radio, as you know. I normally listen to podcasts. And it's actually, I've only started listening to Virgin since Rossi's been coming in and blah, 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 blah. And Chris Fade, he runs the show, big mouth Australian guy, and no one loves him. No, everyone loves him. He's a great guy. And he said he was with Hugh Jackman the other week.
Yeah.
And he told me a story. He said, like, Hugh Jackman's obviously an actor, and he's like, they were talking about, like, getting in shape for movies and stuff. And Hugh Jackman said, like, when I want to get in shape for a movie, I call The Rock, which, based on recent developments and, should we say, supplements that The Rock has admitted to being using, this could be a little bit iffy for some people, but I'll carry on the story because the bottom line is the same. The Rock always used to say to Hugh Jackman, well, probably still does, you want to put on weight, buddy, you need to be on around 6,000 calories a day.
Boom.
So, that's a nice way to kick off this the end of this series, episode number 4. We're talking about eating for strength.
Yep.
You can have all of the sexy stuff that we've been speaking about. You can come to all of the Inner Fight classes and go through that awesome program that we have. You can understand exactly what strength is. But, mate, if you ain't eating properly, are you going to get strong?
No. And, like, that's the bottom line. Like you said, you wrapped it up quite nicely. Like, you can have the best program, the best coaches, the best facility, the best everything.
Yeah.
But if you're not eating if you're not in calorie surplus, you are simply not going to get that much stronger. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It is just simply necessary. And I think a lot of people underestimate that. And not even for strength, for anything. Like being sufficient in how much food your food intake per day.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people screw that part up. A lot of people work really hard in the gym and then forget about the rest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can't have one without having the other. Like, they're all connected.
Yeah. I think, honestly, mate, and that's like another thing. When we were talking earlier in the series about how I used to use 5x5 at uni, I think at uni I picked up some weight, but only when I was able to afford to eat properly. At university, you have a lot of money, and you've got to figure out, like, what we started doing was we got one of our friends, it's on topic, but it's a bit of a side story. One of our friends was a policeman, part-time policeman, and when you're in the police, you get access to these big cash and carry shops. Cash and carry, just literally, we could buy 10 kilos of chicken for the same price that you buy 1 kilo at the grocery store. So until we sort of started going to this cash and carry, I was doing all this training. I was on my 5x5, and I just wasn't growing at all. Started eating properly. And we're going to define properly in a minute, because I know you've got some thoughts on the fact that it's not pizzas. But I started eating properly, and then I started to pick up strength and a little bit of mass as well. So it's not only, and this is the thing, for the ladies that have been listening to this, getting stronger doesn't necessarily mean getting bigger. In some cases it can, but first off, we want to make the muscles you've got stronger. But mate, talking about the food, is it pizzas and ice cream? I've been talking about chicken. What's your thoughts?
The funny thing is, I've actually heard a lot of people say the calories are calories. And
calorie is a calorie, so measure heat.
But I somehow don't agree, because the degree of the quality is different, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, because I was also on that diet when I was younger. I was like, oh man, you know, I want to get big, and we just ate pizzas, like loads of pizza, and we did get bigger.
Fat?
But we got fatter as well.
Really? Yeah.
And that wasn't it. But I thought that was kind of the only way, because you know that how much broccoli and chicken can you eat, right?
Yeah.
But there's certainly a lot of other much healthier ways and
Yeah.
much more efficient ways, because with pizza there's so many bad things that come along.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other hand, if you know, you can have varied chicken, fish,
Let
meat.
me ask you a question, mate, because this could be quite cool, and this could be a really nice finish to this series. You and I have both got 12 weeks, and we both want maximum strength gains. You and I are going to do the test that we spoke about that we do in the class. We're going to go and do those tomorrow. What do you then change in your food? You can ask me this question back in a second because I've got an answer. What do you change in your food, or how do you put your food together to beat me in this competition?
I would make sure that I have a protein in every single meal,
Yep.
including breakfast, because I think that's the one typically people would miss, having sufficient protein. I would make sure to have a meal approximately every second hour for my awake hours.
Right.
I would make sure that I have a high intake of carbs as well,
Yeah.
like high intake, and it with all meals. I think it can be dangerous I think the benefit of spreading it out as much as possible throughout the day, having a lot of meals, is that you really get to, you don't smash your liver and digestive system the same way as, and if you just have like crazy heavy meals. And I don't think there's only so much you can take in one sitting from like protein perspective.
Yeah.
So the rest you'll just, you know, will just come out the other way.
Yeah.
So I think by spreading it out throughout the whole day is definitely the most efficient.
For the people that care about calories, how many calories would you be looking at, mate?
Probably around 5,000. Like right now I sit around 4,000.
For CrossFit?
Yeah, for CrossFit. And if I was on a pure strength cycle, maybe something similar actually, 4,000 to 5,000. Because if I was on pure strength cycle, I wouldn't really do any cardio. And I think with 4,000 would be a good amount. Like, it's hard to... I think eating 4,000 is already hard. I don't have any liquid nutrition throughout the day.
Why not?
I just prefer not to. Like, I prefer to eat my food. There's a lot of benefits by doing that, and I also just think that can be hard to find like good protein powder sources and good like things that are not full of crap. Like I have the news test, but I eat that with my porridge in the morning.
Right.
So I just put it straight in and stir it up. But I find it really difficult to find something that is, first of all, doesn't make me feel sick, and it's also healthy and not unhealthy. But if you're on a bulking diet, like you need some bulk powder.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the caveats here, mate. Like big bulking diets, eating a lot is not always what we'd know as super healthy. I'm with you mainly. I think I've got a couple of tweaks to make. I would definitely go a few more calories. I would put it up to 5,500, 6,000 calories. Only because that's what The Rock says. No, that's...
You're already behind as well, so maybe you should.
Yeah, well, I'd definitely not win this competition, but, mate, I'm looking for percentage increases, so the fact that my base is quite low, I think I can do quite well in this. This could actually be a reality TV show at some stage. But I think other things that I do, mate, that are slightly different to what you said is I definitely would take in a couple of liquid nutritions. I just find them just easier to get in. I think we're getting a great response. If I've got, and I would do what you said, I would do 2.5 hours to 3 hours between a meal, smaller meals, so that I'm not putting my digestive system under a massive strain and I don't feel like sleeping. Like sometimes, again, back in the day, maybe I've had like 3 really big meals a day, and afterwards you just feel super lethargic.
Yeah.
It's mayhem. So I definitely do the smaller meals, but honestly, mate, sometimes I just get bored of eating. So if I was going for 6 meals, I'd have 4 meals where I'm actually eating. And like you said, that's super important. A lot of the digestive enzymes that are released from the mouth to break the food down, we're going to need those. But I definitely have, probably first thing in the morning or mid-afternoon, I'd go for a shake. I actually still have a shake every single day now.
That's the famous shake. You've shared that in an article, right?
Yeah, I did, mate. Mine's changed a little bit because now it's not quite... It used to be quite heavy fat based, a breakfast shake, and that would set people up really nicely for the day. If I was bulking, I would actually have that at night. Yeah. I would be having that sort of 30 minutes before I go to bed. I'm not sure in whose book it is. Is it in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Body? And I think there's a lot of them come now. The 1,000-calorie shake. Like, you know, imagine that's a lot of fat in there. There's also a little bit of carbohydrate would be in there as well, but I definitely have something like that. Just want a lot of fat in my system as I sleep. But they're the main changes that I would have, mate. And then otherwise, I would stick with pretty much, I think, what you would say, like meal-wise. I like the fact that you had a lot of carbs in there as well.
Yeah.
Restricted amounts of protein in each meal, but still your daily protein intake would be pretty damn high. I think it's somewhere around 20 grams of protein is the most that your body can digest in one sitting.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you obviously want to keep it low. I'd also keep the protein per meal low. So essentially, mate, when I look at a bulking diet, the food that I'd have per meal is not much more than a small plate full. It's not like loads and loads. And if you eat that throughout the day with some snacks, I noticed you've put a lot more snacks in your diet recently.
Yeah,
fruit, nuts.
That basically comes down to the fact that if I have 2 to 3 training sessions a day, I need meals that are sort of easy to digest and goes fast, but keeps me also fueled throughout the whole day. Because what happens if you have a huge meal is that, you know, when you start digesting that food, is that all the blood is going to your gut, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you need to digest food.
Yeah.
But if you're training and you're digesting at the same time,
Yeah.
essentially you want that blood to be in the working muscles, right? Not in the gut.
In the gut,
And therefore, by having smaller meals, I'll digest it in a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
I'll be able to train more frequently throughout the day and still stay fully fueled throughout the day.
Yeah. And I think sometimes as well, mate, like, it's nice to be grazing the whole day.
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
So, folks, if you are thinking about getting strong, I think the bottom line there's 2 very similar examples with slightly different, a couple of different things there on the shakes, but we definitely would be increasing the good calories. It's not a case of just eating. We've seen it before with Michael Phelps, just eating pizza the whole day. His goal is totally different. But I think 12 weeks, mate, again, it's an eating program for the 12 weeks. I would eat pretty much like that for the 12 weeks if we were going to have a strength competition.
Yeah.
Mate, that's it. That has been 4 episodes on Getting Stronger. Second series we've put out. Folks, if you haven't listened to the first 3 shows, we strongly suggest that you do. Defining Strength was number 1, Strength Protocols number 2, Strength at Inner Fight number 3, and of course today we shared some ideas on eating. If you do have questions surrounding the show, drop Andre a message, drop me a message. If you want to know more about eating for strength, one of the people you can speak to definitely is Carmen. She knows a lot about eating for strength. She's got her diet pretty well tuned in, and she is incredibly strong. That has been the series on Getting Stronger. Andre, thank you very much, mate.
Thanks.
Thank you to you guys for listening. And if there is a series that you want us to attack next, please let us know. A topic, we'll break it down into 4 of these bite-sized shows. Until next time, take care.